What's good, everybody? This is Preston, lifelong adventurer and travel YouTuber.
And I'm Ryan, the travel photographer, here to capture moments worth saving.
And this is Adventures with Pictures podcast, bringing all those travel tips,
horror stories,
and just all-around travel experiences. This is your podcast to soften those travel blues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now let's get started and hear from our guest today.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Preston, a.k.a. Mr. Travels, one half of Adventures with Pictures. And I got my best friend, Ryan, in the building.
Hey, what's going on, folks?
Yeah, and so today we got a very, very special guest, my unofficial mentor, Kevy Kev Worldwide. I want to say thank you on behalf of Adventures with Pictures for taking the time out on your busy schedule to come mess with us, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to chatting it up with you guys and chopping it up, man. Talking travel today.
Hey, that's it, man. Travel, I got travel on the brain. Like, I go to work, I'll be like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be on travel. So, yeah. And that's why I say I love meeting like-minded individuals, you know, from just across the world, all walks of life. That's something that Ryan and I are very passionate about. So, so like I said, I just want to get right into it and say, hey, who is Kevy Cab Worldwide? Like, how'd you get started? You know, things of that nature.
Yeah. So I've been traveling for like, you know, the past 20 years. My family's from the Dominican Republic. So I got the opportunity to kind of travel with her every summer back to the Dominican Republic when I was younger. So I've been flying my whole life. But then when I turned, I think right when I got out of high school, I took like a cruise. And then once I, you know, got to the islands and stuff, I'm like, all right, so this is pretty cool. Then shortly after that, I ended up getting a job in the pet industry. So I was in the pet industry for like 15 years. And that kind of allowed me to travel with the company. So that kind of evolved my love for travel. And then I started taking travel a lot more serious, you know, maybe like 10 years ago. But of course, 10 years ago, we didn't have the platforms like Instagram and stuff like that. And I think that there was kind of like a stigma on traveling. You know, some people might take it as like you're kind of like showing off and stuff like that. So I actually used to be really private about my travels and like not tell anybody that I was going away or where I was going or how to get to these places. And then I think once I got an iPhone, and started taking like better pictures, and people were like, Kev, you take like really cool pictures. That kind of catapulted me to try to post a little bit more. I didn't really know the algorithm on Instagram like that, so I didn't really engage with people. I didn't like their comments, you know, stuff like that. And so then like a year ago, I was like, you know, let me get serious about this because like I love this. So I was like, let me try to put you know, my thoughts together and you know, come up with some captions that are informative and that people will kind of take something from. And then I just started kind of like digging for people that, like you said earlier, are kind of like-minded, that can help me get to where I want to be. And then I don't know if you guys know where's Nikki? What is it? Her name's Nikki. I'll tag you guys or where Nikki goes or
okay.
Yeah, she sat with me for an hour and she was like, dude, you really need to get serious about this if this is what you want to do. And then I just started compiling like the pictures with the captions and now I'm here and I'm just like loving it because it's really cool to be able to show people my experiences and hoping that, you know, they do the same.
All right. I like, hey man, like, well, once again, I really am just happy about how you got started. That sounds very dope, man. Once again, I just followed you early this week, you know, after Preston put me onto your page. Your page is nice. It's so dope. It inspires me to go travel more. And with that said, man, I apologize in advance if it sounds corny of a question, but yo, do you go anywhere cold, man? Everywhere I see is beaches, is tropical water. Do you go anywhere cold, bro?
So I do go, well, I live in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts, we already have the snow for half of the time. So I'm usually trying to get away from it. But actually, I'm actually planning on including some of that kind of travel, like in the next like quarter, like the last quarter of the year, because we barely see people skiing, or we barely see people doing like, you know, snowmobiles and stuff like that. And I want to bring that out there. And people do like ATVs in like the Caribbean and stuff like that, but you rarely see people like, and now you're kind of starting to see like Iceland a little bit more and stuff like that. But like I'm trying to get to Alaska and see like the Northern Lights and all of that. So, but yes, it is in the plans, dude. It is so in the plans.
All right, cool.
That's what's up. Yeah. So like, as far as like you said, like, you know, you got serious about a year ago. So did you feel the need to like, do you still have like a regular job, or you're a full-time traveler? You know, how would you describe it?
Yeah. So I actually, I've been like a full-time traveler, like literally full-time traveler now for like at least 8 months, because of things that happened, you know, last year. Things kind of didn't work out in the pet industry. So I kind of took a break from that. And that was just solely based on the fact that, you know, people were like, you should really take this serious. So I was like, this is the perfect time. It's, you know, the middle of like a, you know, like a time where we're kind of stuck at home. So I'm like, let me do this. Like, let me just look into it and see what happens. And if anything, I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. So at least it's, you know, I'm not in the streets, and you know, I'm doing something that is helpful for some people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you might not always see that kind of, you know, that sometimes you don't see like your work in action or paying off at the moment, but eventually it will. And like, even like this podcast, like this is huge for me. You know what I mean? Because I think it's awesome for you guys to give me the opportunity to, you know, talk to your audiences and hopefully influence them to freaking buy that ticket. You know what I mean? And get up and go.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's what we want to do. One of our main focuses when we started the podcast was to just highlight people that we just think is just all around dope, man. You know, from you, there's another person named Rosie. I think Rosie loves to travel, something of that nature. But bottom line, that's the whole thing. Like this whole podcast, we don't even want to talk about ourselves. We just like to highlight other passionate travel, you know, people who just travel. And with that, you know, also like, you know, being that you travel so much, you've been traveling for so long. One of the questions that I always find myself asking, like, do you find that like traveling as often as you did, and, you know, for as long as you did, like you say, you've been traveling since you were a kid, do you feel like that's made you like more of a well-rounded person, like maybe more open-minded, you know, not so closed-minded or tunnel vision when it comes to certain ideas or philosophies, things of that nature?
Yeah, for sure. So I've gotten like the opportunity to like immerse myself in like so many different cultures, and seeing how other people live outside of the United States, really kind of just as a human, you automatically like just grow from just seeing their experiences, seeing how little they have to survive, versus how we kind of sometimes take things for granted here. I feel like that just kind of definitely, made me a better person, like in general, just because I learned to like appreciate things a little bit more. I learned to appreciate like time, taking things a little bit slower. I feel like we live in such like a fast paced, like life here. You know what I mean? There's never really a time to just like relax and let it soak in. And so I think that travel has given me that opportunity to be able to get those moments where you're kind of just like completely disconnected. Like whenever I'm on vacation, I try to really live in the moment and kind of stay away from the phone, just so that I can really take advantage of it, because you do grow. You kind of come back. You might be tired from the trip itself, but you come back kind of like mentally like recharged. You may have learned a couple of new words, or a new dance, or you maybe tried some new food, which those are memories that, you know, you're going to take forever. And so I feel that, you know, one of the reasons why I kind of took this a little bit more serious is because I feel like as like colored folks, like we're not really as heavily like represented in the travel community. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, I feel like I don't know, I feel like there's definitely representation out there, but there could be more, because the majority of the travel industry that we see, you know, unfortunately is white people, you know what I mean? And so I think that by me, even if I have 5,000 followers, I think that by me doing whatever I can, it's going to inspire other people to be able to do the same thing. And I think that that's really what it comes down to. Like, I feel good being able to like, I'm like, damn, like I cannot wait to show these people like these pictures, not because the picture's cool, but just so that they know that they can also do it too. You know what I mean? Like, if you look for cheap flights, save your money, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like you only live once. And so like representing the culture is like a big thing for me. And I think that's like, that kind of drives me to want to travel more. You know what I mean? Like I want to get to those places where we haven't been to yet so that people can know that it's, you know, you can do it too, you know?
Oh man, you know, and you hit it right on the head, man. Like when you said like, you know, we just had a conversation not too long ago with a guest that we had named Brittany, and we were just talking about how it's kind of unfortunate that sometimes when you travel, you kind of look out of place, or people kind of look at you as if, you know, something doesn't feel right because you feel out of place. And I remember, you know, very quick example. I wasn't even out of the country. I was just like, I made like a quick stop in somewhere like Oklahoma or something like that, on my way to San Antonio, and it was me and my daughter, and like this, she meant well, okay, she meant well, but it was like this older couple, and you know, sometimes you just chilling, you wearing like you dress down, you know, cut off, you know, sleeves, basketball shorts or something like that, and like it was an older white couple, and she asked like, was I like part of like a travel basketball team or something to that nature? And I was just like, nah. You know, I mean, granted, I'm not even that tall. I'm 6 feet, you know, lean, slinky type of a guy. So I got a basketball look, but no, I'm trash at basketball. I ain't played basketball in years. And so like, you know, there's like a quick example, even sometimes when you're not out of the country, people, you know, if you're just in places, like I said, like a Oklahoma or something like that, where maybe she don't see a lot of black people in certain places of Oklahoma. She was just like, this guy must play ball or something because he's in the wrong part of Oklahoma or something like that. So you hit it right on the head when you brought up how, you know, when it comes to travel, just in general, whether it's domestically, internationally, sometimes just, you know, black people could be better represented.
But you know what's crazy? It's funny that you mentioned Oklahoma. Like, I visited like 30 states already, right? And I visited a lot of countries too. And like, I feel that traveling in the United States, like there is, because what that lady did wasn't racist at all. I think it was just judgmental. You know what I mean? And I get it. She meant well, but like maybe she could have kept that comment to herself or whatever. You know what I mean? But I feel like I find myself in those situations, believe it or not, more here in the States than out of the country. Yeah, I feel like you maybe get stared at. I get stared at a lot when I'm in other countries, but that's obviously because like I look different. Even in my mother's, even in the Dominican Republic, when I go there, I look like I'm not from there. So even though I speak Spanish or whatever, like they kind of like staring a little bit like this kid's not from here. If I go to Puerto Rico, they're like, he's definitely not Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? So, but here in like, let's say I went to like, where did I go? That was like, I think it was like, where did I go? Oh, Pennsylvania. So because of my work travels, I ended up going to like the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, near like Amish village around there. And I felt like a little bit like unsafe. You know what I mean? I'm like, how the hell do I feel unsafe like in my own country? You know what I mean? But I could be like in Brazil. I was just not like just walking around with my phone, but I didn't feel that like, I don't know, like it's almost like an animosity that you feel from, I don't know, it's just weird, but yeah.
It's like an energy you feel or something, right?
You feel it, you know what I mean? And it's funny you mentioned Oklahoma because automatically you mentioned Oklahoma and I'm like, I feel like I've been in your shoes before, you know what I mean? Like, oh, are you a comedian? I'm like, really? You know what I mean? Like, why? Is it because I'm black? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like
make me laugh.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Oklahoma for like 2 years. And like I normally fit in pretty much anywhere I go. Like I just went to Boston 2 weeks ago or whatever.
You should have hit me up, man.
Boston is dope. I was gonna say that. Boston is dope, and I'm definitely coming back. Like this year, like I'm like on the horizon again.
Where are you guys at?
Well, so I'm in Virginia. Yeah, he's in Virginia. I'm in Maryland, and
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's maybe like an hour ride for me to get to him. So yeah.
Yeah, that's because of traffic. The traffic is trash. But yeah, like so you know, everybody always tells me, oh man, Boston is racist as hell. And it very could be. I don't know. But like I said, I had a great time. Mm-hmm. The locals were talking to me, you know, just talking to random people on the streets, talking to people at restaurants, no problems. Like nobody gave me any dirty looks, but people like, they damn near like, yo, you went to a war zone. I'm like, bro, like, I play my part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't disrespect anybody. I don't give dirty looks. I think I have a very inviting personality, especially with me being in the mindset of being a travel vlogger or just travel influencer or trying to get into that mode, that I'm definitely trying to meet new people. You know what I'm saying? So maybe in the past when I used to travel, I used to be like, I ain't talking to nobody. Like how you said, like, I'm not gonna talk to strangers. But now you kind of have to if you want to grow your brand. So, exactly. So like how you said earlier, you know, like my first time out the country, I was in the military, was to Iraq. And I got to see, obviously, how people lived on a daily basis, like getting bombed and bombings and shootings and, you know, things of that nature. So my first time actually being able to visit like an actual country and actually being like, oh, okay, this is not a war zone, was South Korea. And I lived there for a year. So I got to explore all of, you know, Korea, whatever. And I loved it. I mean, I did get dirty looks, you know, it was funny. I got some real dirty looks. I was like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I just really fell in love with traveling. And I got to live in Germany for 3 years. And I took my whole family with me. And it's like, literally, I didn't want to come home.
That's awesome.
And it's like, I didn't have not one problem in, you know, Germany and just Europe in general. And I went everywhere. So I say all that to say, like, you know, to pretty much touch on what you were saying about Oklahoma or, you know, just different places you've been in the States. It can get kind of hairy, you know, in our own little, you know, country.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Damn, you know, I'm American, right? You know, especially me with my sense of pride being a veteran, like I served my country. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I served my country. I had 3 combat tours. Hey, I put it on the line. So I'd be damned if you give me a dirty look.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm like, this ain't 1940, bro. Like, don't look at me wrong. So, you know, like I said, like my father's a veteran, my uncles and, you know, aunts and, you know, cousins. I have a lot of veterans in my background. So I'm like, yo, man, we did our part. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of that. Absolutely. And I feel like, was that Southwest? I'm like, you know, free to roam the cabin, you know. That's how I feel like, you know. So yeah, I feel that just to like really, you know, saying sympathize, you know, or empathize with, you know, what you guys were saying.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my little next point, whatever. Traveling. Are you more of like a budget or like a luxury type of individual?
So first of all, thank you and your family for all of your service throughout these years, man. That is so dope, man. So dope. I would feel the same way. Like, you're not gonna be looking at me like that. So I'm the kind of traveler that I don't know how to explain it. Like a little bit of everything. Like, so I think that sometimes people's experiences get cut short when they do the luxury traveling, because I feel like at that point you're not really, you're in Belize, but you're not really in Belize. You're like at the Sandals Resort in Belize. So you're luxury. And I feel like there's a time and place for that. You know what I mean? But for me, it's more of like getting into, like diving into the culture and like kind of living with the locals. So I do a lot of like Airbnbs where I'm like immersed in just like where I have to go to the local stores or where I have to go to the restaurants. So it really depends. Like I love camping because of where I live too. So like I'll do a lot of trips. Some not documented because they're just literally like little getaways where I'll bring, you know, almost next to nothing and just kind of survive on what we have there for the weekend. But then there are some trips where I'll take one day and I'll stay one day in like a luxury, you know, resort. Then the next day I'll stay at like an Airbnb. And then the night before I'll leave, I'll stay at like a cheap Holiday Inn or something like that. So it really just depends. A lot of my trips are also like outside of travel, like outside of work travel. A lot of trips are kind of like on the fly. So I can create an itinerary for you in like 30 minutes. Just tell me where you're going and I can create the itinerary, get you a place to stay, whether it's a car rental. So I'm like big on that. So whenever my friends are going away, they'll like call me, or if they want to go away, they'll call me to like get their stuff together. So I'm always like literally always on Google and TripAdvisor and like Yelp and looking at reviews and stuff like that. But I think for me, it's also depends on the people that you're with. Some people don't have money to travel like that, but they want to travel. So I hate to leave my friends behind because they don't have the money to stay at a 5-star, but they have money to stay at an Airbnb. Like, let's stay at an Airbnb and we'll figure out a way to go check the 5-star place out or something like that.
I totally get
I would not consider myself, not yet. I think that is coming for me. I think that those opportunities are coming for me because I'm working so freaking hard for them to happen. But when that happens, it'll be more of like a job type of thing versus my personal
preference.
Deciding to where, to where to go. But it's Airbnb for me. And then I do a lot of like, excuse me, like the boutique hotels, like the hotels that are not really known.
Yeah.
Because Marriott's we have here, we have Hilton's here. So that is what I look for a lot, like a lot of eco-friendly stuff. And I try to partner with them. I try to partner with them because they're getting free exposure. They don't have to pay somebody to actually, promote. You're giving up what a room for a night, or you're giving up a meal. You know what I mean? So I try to do that. And so yeah, it just really depends. But it's like a wide range of. I feel like I'm every kind of traveler that there is. Except I've never done, actually, no, I have done backpacking. I backpacked across Europe. So that was pretty dope.
Okay.
Nice. Well, not to put you on the spot, I'm gonna give you an example, then I ask my question, okay? We had one guest who gave us a helpful tip when it comes to travel. The tips he gave was like, if you try to book your ticket, your plane tickets on a Tuesday. Another example was someone was like, hey, if you're trying to get a cheap flight, I recommend you go to scottscheapflights.com. Does Kevy Kev have any type of travel tips or cheat codes or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I use Skyscanner a lot. Skyscanner emails me like every day. So I have a trip coming up to Africa in like 3 weeks. So they've been like, I've already bought the ticket, obviously, but that's how good the website is, that they've been emailing me like the past couple of days, letting me know like the flight went up, the flight went down, you got a good deal because you already bought it. So I use them a lot when I'm doing trips that are like big trips. Like Africa for me is going to be like a huge trip. So I wanted to use that. But when it comes to like my local trips, and by local, I mean like even down just to Mexico or to like Puerto Rico, I use Google Flights. Google Flights.
Bro, Google Flights.
Yeah,
yes.
Google Flights.
You're the first person to say that. I started thinking like, damn, maybe I'm messing up. Because I was like, I love Google Flights.
Google Flights really like helps you narrow down. But one of the only airlines that you won't find on Google Flights is Southwest. So Southwest, you'll have to look for their stuff like on their website. But through Google Flights, you could narrow down the days. It'll give you like a day before or a day after. You can, let's say you want to go away, but you don't know where you want to go. You can put, let's say Boston Logan, you can put your dates in, and then it'll actually give you a map and show you what the prices are, the dates that you want to travel. It'll show you like what part of the country is what price. So that's pretty dope. And then on Scott's, I think it's on Skyscanner actually as well. You can actually type in like where you're traveling from. Let's say you're traveling from Boston and you want to go to, it gives you an option to like put everywhere. So you can put everywhere. And then I think it gives you an option to choose like the cheapest flights or to like sort by cheapest. So it literally just gives you every flight across like the whole world of where you can go for whatever price it is. And yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best time to book, but Google Flights, not just Google Flights, a lot of like these JetBlue, American Airlines, they can tell that you're looking at the flights.
Okay.
So you can buy a flight for somebody. Like you can look at a flight right now and it's $200, but you've been looking at that flight. You're like, damn, should I buy? When you go to book that flight tonight, it's going to be like 225 or 230 because they know that you've already been in there searching it. So what I like to do is I like to search for those flights incognito.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about that.
That's a good thing because they like that algorithm, that search engine, like it can see how many times you went to that site through your browser or whatever like that. So a lot of people do that type of stuff. That
Kevin wants to go to Puerto Rico. So if I know Kevin wants to go to Puerto Rico, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing things on Instagram like, hey, are you looking to go to Puerto Rico? It's really funny the way that it all works. But go incognito because that way they can't really read where you're kind of coming from. But yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days to buy them. I feel like that, and then just use your credit cards that have points. Like there's so many people out there. Like that's another like part of my travel thing that I want to get into. I haven't gotten into it yet because I don't have like too much knowledge on it, and I want to do it right. So I'm like looking at YouTube videos and talking to people that are actually like traveling for free based on points. And they're getting these points based on using their card that they use every single day. And some people just don't know about it. Some people don't know that, like, I forgot what card it is, but it'll give you points for like the Hilton, points for JetBlue, just from like spending money at the supermarket or getting gas and stuff like that. So that's something that I want to get into because there's a lot of opportunities that way. And once you like hit certain limits with these people, like you're basically like flying like first class and free.
Yeah, like I use that. So I got like an American Express. So I got like 90-some thousand points right now. And I just, I say it's one of those things that I would tell anybody. It is still credit. So you don't want to just be rampant and you just running up credit. You can't pay it back or whatever because it's not your money. Theoretically, you're spending somebody else's money. So like how I normally do it is I only spend like how you said, if you use your credit card, especially if it's a points-based credit card, you get I have a Delta. I love Delta. Delta is my favorite airline. So I have an American Express Delta card. So when I want to fly Delta, I use my credit card because I get 4 times the points. So they give you 4 times the points for like if you go to restaurants, or you get 2 times the points if you use it for gas and things of that nature. So I'm always mindful of that. But I also, like I said, on the responsibility side of things, I don't overextend myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you can let some stuff start sliding on you.
That's credit.
Like, oh, you want your money back? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I didn't even know. So
I think that's why I also want to, like, before I start, like saying, hey, I got this trip for free based on points. Like, I don't want to give people the wrong impression because sometimes, like, I'll look at it and I'm like, damn, like, I wonder if they are in debt, even though they got it with points, you know what I mean? Because it's credit. So I want to be able to, like, educate people, like, yo, like, you can get these points, but you still have to only spend 30% of your credit limit so that, it doesn't mess up your credit score. So stuff like that. I just want to be able to, I would hate to have somebody be like, Kev, because of you credit or something like that.
You got me.
So I'm like, let me get this right. Let me do this right so that I can, really have it benefit me, because if I know the ropes and I know exactly how it works and all that, like, I could really make something happen out of it. So that's another whole world, because that's a whole world of travel right there. But I'm definitely gonna start looking into that.
Well, then I ain't gonna front, man. That's like, I don't know what you officially title yourself. I'm gonna title you as a influencer, because I think the page is dope. So for me, I think that's very responsible as an influencer, because you see a lot of people who be like, hey man, you do this and the third and you can travel more, or do this and the third, or buy the latest whatever the hottest purse is. But no one ever, on the back end is like, but hey, make sure you don't overextend yourself. No one ever says that.
Exactly.
So I think that's dope.
Exactly too. And I don't know if you guys saw a post that I put the other day of I've been trying to, like, become you guys know Clear?
Yeah. I use Clear.
Yeah, so I've been trying to
way better than the TSA pre-approved, because everybody got TSA pre-approved. The TSA pre-approved line is just as long as the regular line. That Clear, people ain't on it yet. So whenever that start get super popular, they might start sucking. But when you jump that line and you see them faces like, damn.
So I've been trying to become a partner with them. So I've been like following these people that are Clear partners so that I can like get people to sign up through Clear, because Clear is pretty cool. But the post itself was like travel. So in the post there was Clear, there was TSA PreCheck, there was the mobile passport. So it just kind of gave people like a rundown of things that they could do to make their travel experience better or easier. I happen to disagree with you regarding Clear. I think Clear is great, but I think it's maybe the airport that you're leaving from, because Boston is not that busy. So the TSA PreCheck for me, I get through quicker than Clear. So I think it just might be the airport that you're flying out of, like whatever your hub airport is. What airport do you guys use?
So, we got Dulles and we got Reagan and then we got BWI. So we got Reagan is not huge, but like Dulles is.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
BWI is obviously.
Yeah. So I always try to, give like background information. Like, even if I'm going on a hike, like, yeah, the view is beautiful, but to get there, I want to prepare you so that you can really make a decision. You know what I mean? Because again, I would hate for you to get to this place and then be like, shit, like I should have done more research or whatever, or Kevin didn't give me enough information or whatever. That's why I always tell people, like, whatever you want to do, hit me up. Like, if it's something that you've seen that I've done, hit me up so that I can actually like give you the details. Because sometimes, you don't want to write too much in the caption because that might throw people off. So it's always like a balance. So I'm always like, if you need more information, hit me up. And for you guys too, like whenever you guys like are gonna, go somewhere or whatever it is, like let me know. I can help you guys put together some like potential like partnership like emails and stuff like that. Because that's what I've been doing.
I'm already gonna do that. Mentally, I'm already docking that in my mind. I'm like, yep, he got 3 emails coming to him today.
so what I did was I decided that I wanted to like explore Massachusetts, New England, and just like highlight like some things that museums that people didn't know about, restaurants that people didn't know about. Because I have that food page. I don't know if you guys follow.
Yeah, I'm about to start following. I just saw that the other day. I was like,
yeah,
you got a food page.
So I have that. So I'm working on like a video photo series, just highlighting like best places to stay, best places to eat for people that are coming to Boston. So I literally just emailed like 50 hotels in Boston, and I was like, somebody's got a bite. Somebody has, even if they email me back to let me know that they are not interested or that they can't at the time, they already have my contact. In the future, down the line, they're going to be like, damn, Kevin said that he would offer this for free. What's one night? You know what I mean? So from that 50, I've gotten back like 30 replies and I've gotten back like 15 yeses. So that's pretty cool with 5,000 followers. So that's why I feel like sometimes the followers, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It really just depends on what you're providing. If your content is good, if, what you're writing is good, then that's what people kind of want to see,
I like that. Damn, that sounds dope. I mean, and that's one thing, and that's the thing, like as Preston mentioned earlier, we initially started this whole travel podcast thing just almost like a hobby. We didn't take it seriously, but the more we kind of delved into it, it was like, damn, these people really taking it seriously. They got like sponsorships or branding and stuff like that. And so I want to say, would you agree, Preston? Maybe like January, we was like, yo, let's go back to the drawing board and try to take this more seriously. So to hear that, so to hear your story, it's pretty inspiring.
Yeah,
and talking about inspiration too. Sorry to interrupt you, buddy, but it's not only like so. For example, so like this is inspiring me to travel as much as I'm inspiring you guys to travel. You know what I mean? So I think that getting these opportunities on both ends is good, because now we feel like, more like we're more apt to like really book that flight. You know what I mean? Because not only did you guys influence me and vice versa, but you guys inspired me to do that. So now like I'm probably gonna go on Google Flights after this and see what's out there. So I don't know for sure, but I'm probably gonna be traveling tomorrow. I don't know where. It's gonna be my passport. So you guys will find out sometime like next week, wherever I went to this weekend. But yeah, it's really inspiring. So I'm glad that you guys decided to do this, because we as a community need as a Black brown community, as a male travel community, we need these kinds of podcasts and these kinds of platforms. Not only, because you guys are kind of doing the travelers, even like yourselves. Like, I hope that you guys get featured in a podcast sometime. You guys kind of talking about, where you guys came from and where you guys are going to, because that's gonna inspire you guys. Just talking about it, you're gonna be like, damn. So like, this is something, you know what I mean? This is, and when you love it and it's a passion, then it goes hand in hand,
Absolutely. That's another thing that, I guess, why we started this podcast. And it's no shade to anybody who does a podcast like that. But like I said, being that, Preston, and myself were people of color, Black people, I'm a huge hip hop fan, right? I'm a huge sports fan. But like when I look at some of my peers and stuff like that, I feel like there's so many podcasts that already talk about the latest, celebrity gossip, the latest hip hop news, shit talking about sports. I'm like, we and that's kind of Preston's idea that he kind of spearheaded. He was like, you know what, there's not really anything covering travel. And Preston, he beats me by traveling 10 times out of 10. Like he is more of a travel addict. So that was, his idea. So that's one of the reasons that got it started, because it's almost like there's really not too many people in the travel lane, and there's so many other platforms and other interests that I already have, like I said, hip hop, sports, celebrity news, all that type of stuff. So,
like, I would love to see this podcast on Apple. Like, why are we not on Apple yet? You know what I mean? Like, it should be out there. You know what I mean? Because travel is like a big, it's just huge. Like, travel is really, really big. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know the exact numbers, but the Black and brown travel community are the bigger part of that percentage. You know what I mean? So
really grew over the last several
we're
years.
out there. So
I mean, like I said, I just, when I came up with this idea, I literally just wanted to do something that my kids can look at, or my older relatives, like my aunts or my uncles, something positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just really at a space in my life where I don't want to involve myself in too much negativity.
For sure.
So if nothing else, man, I just want to do something positive. And like you said, just meet like-minded people, do some dope stuff in life, and just, pass away one day. But I know in those 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, whatever, how long I'm on this planet, if somebody say, man, what was Preston like? Shit, man, Preston out here jumping from the moon to the sun. He out here doing, I want somebody to be like, yo, he lived a great life. And just recently, over the last several months, as I've been going to work to my 9 to 5, I just sit there and contemplate, like, that's one of them. Like, man, like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in this office. Like, it's great money, is, I can't complain. It, provides for, my family and things of that nature. But I just feel like it has to be more, you know what I'm saying? Especially, this ain't the 80s. This ain't the 70s where you better take your ass to work and save your money. Now, there's so many outlets. You don't need to go to college. You don't need, certain things like, look how many YouTubers that are millionaires, or even like just six-figure earners.
Making it.
Man, and making it. So, and I see your page, and like I said, up until now, like, I didn't know how long it took you to get to where you was at. Like you said about a year that you got really serious, right? So I'm like, okay, you're doing it for a year. You took it 100% serious, and you're making it. So that always gives me hope that, all right, Preston, you can make it too, because another person of color made it. Not just, just another traveler, but a person of color. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm really big on that. Like, my mother and father instilled, still that Black pride in me, like, yo, support each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I was like, yo, I really wanted to get you on the show and just pick your brain. And obviously I'm gonna pick your brain, off camera or whatever. But yeah, like, it's just awesome, man. Like, this.
And there's food enough to go around for everybody. I feel like the more we work together, the more we'll grow together. You know what I mean? I feel like, and I think that that's kind of what hindered me before too, was like the fact that, like, I kept everything to myself. Like, that kind of maybe gave a bad vibe. But now that I'm like being like bringing people with me and like showing everything, like, people are like, okay, so let's do this together. And I'm sure you guys are gonna get there, man. I'm pumped to like talk about this podcast. I'm pumped to like introduce you guys to other people that do the same thing that I do. You know, it just, everybody has their own style. You know what I mean? Everybody takes pictures differently. It just, as long as you're happy with it, and as long as you're happy with you doing it, you know, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, being authentic is key in this field. Like I
Sure.
feel like you can kind of tell people that are just clickbait, or you know, they're not really giving you some type of value, or they just, you know, thirst traps and stuff like that. I'm like, no, man, I want to see the trip. I don't want to. It's cool. You want to be in your bikini and heels. And,
I thought like see the palm trees and the food.
Yeah, like I want to know, what did you do? Because when I get there, I want to turn up too. Like I don't want to sit there and be like, all right, man, I'm only going to be in the water of the bluest of the waters. Hey, man, what else did you do? Like, it's cool that you was at the beach, but I need to see, where'd you stay? Was it okay? Was the location? Because I've been to hotels where I thought it was going to be cool, and I get there, I'll be like, damn, this really wasn't convenient to all the points of, you know, interest that I really wanted to go. And that's what happened to me in, I went to Peru. I went to Lima, and I stayed at this real fire hotel. Hotel fire. That thing was so damn far from everything. I was sort of like, I stayed in the financial district, and there was nothing in the financial district. So I always had to take these long ass Uber rides, but the hotel was super dope. That's like awesome. It had its own club. It was just really, it was like one of those trendy millennial type of vibes. Yeah. And so it was real nice, real clean. Everything was super dope, but I was just like, damn, I'm far away. I did the same thing in Brazil. When I went to Rio, I went to Rio for Carnival last year.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. Oh, that was super dope. And I was so paranoid. I let people get into my mind about how dangerous Rio was. And I was going by myself. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to get robbed. And I was looking at YouTube stories, and people was like, oh, man, they whipped my ass and took all my stuff. I was like, I ain't never had my ass whooped, but I was like, I guess it could happen, you know? So I was like, okay, well, let me stay at the Marriott that's way outside of everything. Man, I had to take all these long-ass Ubers that were like 20, 30-minute Ubers just to get back to the city of things. Oh, so that really taught, I was like, all right, man, you know what I got to do? The hotel was dope, but I was like, man, I got to get into the city. Because like you said earlier, I'm not a resort type of guy. Like, I don't give a damn about a resort. Like, I like to be immersed. Like, my first time going to Mexico, I went to Mexico City. Like, I was in the heart of Mexico City. Like, when I walked outside, I was like, okay, hola, ¿cómo está? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, do you understand what I'm saying? No. So I say that because, like, my wife, she's the same way. Like, we like to really be in it. Like, I don't want to be just sitting there. Like, when I feel like people go to Jamaica, and they be like, oh, Jamaica's beautiful. I'd be like, oh, okay. Where'd you go? Oh, man.
Sandals.
I was on Montego Bay. Like, oh, okay. And then I'd be like, well, what did you do? Oh, shit, I just sipped pina coladas on the beach. You didn't see Jamaica. Like, you just sat on this beautiful beach. Like, and I felt like, even when I went to DR, like, I went to DR, and, you know, most people go to, like, Punta Cana or, what's the one? Yeah, Puerto Plata. They go stuff like that, which is fine. Like, that's your vibe. That's cool. But, like, I went to Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
So I'm in the city, and I was like, oh, I don't see the pictures that everybody else be picking up. I was like, oh, okay. And, you know, it was a great experience. I took my cousin. That was his first time out the country.
That's dope.
He had an amazing time. And that's, dude, since I've been traveling, I have talked, I will use that word. I have talked 3 people into leaving the country. So
that's all about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and I'll be sitting there like, man, these idiots I'm listening to. No, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, man, it's just one of my things, man. Like, I want everybody to be excited about travel. When I see somebody that's not excited about travel, I get mad. I be like, no, man. You know, whoever you went with or whatever, they're not talking about it right to you, because you cannot possibly tell me there's not cool things to see in this world.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I saw your pictures of the Christ Redeemer, I was like, oh, I was there last year. And I got re-inspired on some stuff that I've already seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's super dope.
So actually, I was gonna tell you, like, I think a lot of people. So like during the like last year, like exactly like a year ago, obviously, you know, I wasn't traveling anywhere. So I was posting stuff from 2019, 2018, but nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it, but I stay consistent with it. You know what I mean? So those pictures you have from Brazil, bro, dust them up, highlight them, post them back up. Because that's what people want to see. Like, I think people now wait for me to, at from 11 to 12, Monday through Friday, they're waiting for something to come from me, which is pretty dope. Like, if it's nice. 3 o'clock, if 3 o'clock, they're like, yo, you all right? Like, yo, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. So
that's when you know you're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? When you got people that's actually hanging off your every word, your pictures, because like I said, it is such a visual medium that you got, and that's what I wanted to say too, because that leads me kind of really into my next question. Like, your picture, your photography skills are awesome. And then I wanted to know, essentially, do you consider yourself like a real photographer? It's a series of questions. I'll put it this way. So the first question is, do you take your own pictures or do you hire photographers? What type of equipment do you use and things of that nature? I don't know if you can get the secrets up. Go ahead and get the secrets.
So I have I have a Nikon, and I have
Nikon. Yes, I got Nikon. All right, go Nikon.
And I have the GoPro, and I have
GoPro. Yes.
But the majority of my pictures come from my iPhone.
Really?
Wow.
The majority of all 90% of my pictures all come from my iPhone, and that's because I'm always on the go, and sometimes the camera is just I would hate to forget it somewhere, and I'm always all over the place. So I really only use my camera when I'm when I know that I'm gonna be in a place that I'm gonna be in a place and not going if I'm going camping or something like that. That's when I'll take my camera and get nature shots and stuff like that. But other than that, I got the best friends. So there's I have 2 best friends that travel with me wherever I go. It's usually 2 or 3 of them. So I've taught them bro, you have to click on the screen to clear the picture up. You're gonna have to take this again. And at first it was oh dude, it's kind of annoying. But now it's yo, Kev, let's stop here to take a picture. I'm
they got it.
You have great friends. I don't know who they are, but they're great friends. Ryan, get your shit together.
But then there's times, bro, that I'm just I'm setting up I'm propping up the phone and using portrait mode with the self timer and doing myself, because sometimes I'm in situations I'm yo, I have to capture this moment, or I have to capture this because I'll probably not come back, or the lighting is good, or whatever it is. But just my iPhone, man.
That's dope. All right. So once again, I don't want to give away too. You can decline if you don't want to answer. Is it like a particular photography app on your phone, or is it just the camera itself?
So it's just the camera. I mess with the I don't have Lightroom or nothing like that, because you asked earlier, I'm not really a photographer. I'm not really a writer. But I think because I like it, I practice it. And I think with practice, it makes perfect. You know what I mean? And not to say that my pictures are perfect, but boy, if you guys saw my pictures from and that's why I don't think I took it serious. But if you guys saw my pictures from 2019, you'd be like, what the hell? What were you thinking? And then I think just progress
to the choir. I got so many trash pictures.
And great places. And it's almost like I feel I have to go back to those places to recapture the moments again. But it's all good. The experiences are there. But just iPhone, man.
Okay, I like it. Hey, and that's you're kind of answering my question already. So it seems like wherever you go, you got some best friends. Have you ever done any solo travel yourself?
I did do a lot of solo travel because of work.
Okay.
Because I was traveling with work, I was forced to be by myself. I would have friends meet me. I made a ton of friends like you, Preston. I wherever I go to, man, I leave with a new friend. I have a friend in every country that I've ever visited. Not that I talk to texting or talking every day, but through Instagram or have people going over there, but just that connection. So I talk to everybody, and that obviously, like you said, it gets your brand out there and all of that. Hold on. What was the question again?
Oh, no, you answered. I just said, do you do any solo? I just said, do you do any solo travel? And you answered it.
So I did because of work, but I've never done like the only trip that I did by myself was when I went to Paris.
Okay.
And that was because I was in Germany. And once you're in Europe, the flights are like $50 or even less than that for you to like hop around. It's ridiculous. So I was like, I'm already here. Like, let me go to Germany. And it was actually like, for me, solo trips are not good unless they're local, because like I could have used a friend to like laugh about the situation or to help me, because I actually got freaking lost and like nobody knew English. I was just like, how the hell does nobody know English? And I thought I knew French. So I'm like, bonjour, mademoiselle, and then nothing. And again, people just, France is a little bit like, I don't want to say racist, but they were a little bit like, a little bit on like the judgmental side, and like nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody wanted to help me. And so I was like, damn, if I had one of my buddies right now, like I would probably be like not as worried, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
But solo trips, I definitely think that they're needed. I think that that's where you learn a lot about yourself when you're on a solo trip, because you're kind of like on your own time too. You don't have to like wait for anybody. So there's like really like pros and cons to it, but I just rather take my solo trips somewhere where I have service, where I can drive back home.
I got you.
I mean, like you said, I found myself, like I said, like Ryan is a traveler, but he's more domestic, and he doesn't do it as he likes traveling, but he's not as passionate like he said earlier. So I got one friend, my other best friend Earl. He's starting to get to my level. Like he was the one, one of the ones I took to out of the country for the first time. I took him to
Egypt, right?
Egypt. Yeah, went to Egypt for like 2 weeks, and I mean after that, it's like he got his first fix.
Yep.
Now he's hooked. Now he's like, every time he's texting me, hey, I'm looking up trips. Oh, man, I'm already in 2028. I'd be like, God damn, can we can we chill for a second? But I get, I really get touched like, damn, I really showed him something and he really loved it. You know what I'm saying? And then he started figuring out it's really not as expensive as people believe to be.
Yes.
Like, especially, like I said, it can get expensive if you luxury, because I do take first class flights from time to time. And you be like, damn, why pay $1,000 for that ticket when I could just set 3 more rows back and I could have got it for half the price or whatever. But, like, it is what it is. But, I just like I said, man, like, it's so easy to travel now. Like, it's so many things at your fingertips where you don't have to struggle. I don't ever use a travel agent. I tried to use a travel agent one time to go to Peru, and for the same trip, for the same amount of time, she was like, yeah, that'd be like $2,000. What the hell are you talking? I was like, you're being slightly disrespectful. I was like, and then I did everything by myself. And I think I went to, like, just for flight and hotel, I think I paid like $600.
Crazy.
So I used like hotels.com, where I booked the flight and the hotel at the same time. They cut off like $300-400. And next thing I know, I'm in Peru, getting my,
doing the damn thing.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely do believe that people would just do their own research, because you really can, just like I said, you can do it yourself, or it's enough people out there with enough information, like I said, to help you, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I definitely want to ask this question, because I think me and you probably got about the same amount of countries and states. I'm almost at 40 countries. I'm at almost 30 countries, states. So what is your favorite destination? Domestic, excuse me, domestic and international.
Costa Rica definitely is one of my favorite like top countries.
Okay.
I absolutely love Costa Rica. If you guys have never been, you have to go check it out.
I haven't been. I gotta go. Okay.
I want to go, but I want to take my wife. So that's why I was like, that won't be a solo. Because the research that I've done on it, it didn't really look solo-ish for me. It looked like more of a I should take my girl there. Because I see a lot of beaches. And then I heard the east and the west side of the country is different. Like one is more Afro-Latino and the other one's more like, I guess, European-ish or whatever. I heard. So I was like, I want to be with the Afro. So I just, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna wait until it's the perfect time for my wife and I to do
Yeah, I've gone 3 times to Costa Rica, and each time has been 100% different. But like I mentioned earlier, in each of those trips, like I did like 2 days, like kind of like luxury. I did like 2 days, like in the rainforest where we were like zip lining and doing like the things, you know, that kind of nature stuff. And then I spent 2 days, 2.5 days, like on the beach. And then I did 2 days in the city. And I did that the first time because we didn't know if we'd go back to Costa Rica. So we're like, let's just try to get out as much as we can now. And so the next time we went, we did the exact same thing, like beach for a couple of days, rainforest for a couple of days, and like that. But Costa Rica, 100% highly recommended.
Yeah, all gone. Like
absolutely.
Belize, Costa Rica, and Guatemala's kind of definitely
go to Guatemala for sure.
Yeah, that's like on my
for sure.
I try to hit those before the end of this year. And it's short trips, like as far as actually getting there.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna hit you up on all those countries. So what's your favorite state you've been so far?
Oh man, my favorite city. I mean, I love Boston. I'm from Boston. I'm probably gonna live in Boston my whole life, but I went to Chicago during the last year, and it was like the best city that I've ever visited. And I've gone to like LA and New York City, but Chicago, something about Chicago is just like, so I went when it was like, I think it was a little chilly. So I think it may have been like October-ish.
Okay.
But I want to go back like now, basically like this time of the year. I think I'm going to try to go back next year during this time. Chicago, man, just like the food, the culture, the city. We took like a couple of tours of like the architecture, so like the buildings, how they were built. I don't know if you guys knew that Chicago was like, the whole city of Chicago was like elevated. Did you guys know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah. So actually, before I went, I saw which is what caused me to go was that show that's called Drain the Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Drain the Ocean. And basically what they do is they drain like the ocean to see like what's down there, like if there's any ships or anything like that. So obviously you guys know Chicago is on Lake Michigan or one of those lakes. Yeah. And that lake is huge. So like when you're actually in Chicago, like, have you guys been to Chicago before?
I've been once.
Yeah, so obviously you guys know that like it looks like an ocean. Like it just looks like a straight ocean. So that show kind of like explains, like they take all the water out and they explain how they actually had to take the whole city. Because at one point it was like at water level, I think it was. So like they were walking around in like mud and like feces and trash, like mixed with water. So they ended up so they ended up elevating the city. And that's when Chicago took off, because Chicago is actually like a big mecca for like a big hub for money. You know what I mean? Like Chicago's a very, very rich city. And from that, and so I saw that and I was like, I have to go to Chicago to see it in person. So I was literally just going for the architecture. And then, like I told you guys earlier, I planned to do, so like if you go on vacation with me, we're out of the room at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes!
And
that was my next Brian, you're 0-2 this week, Brian. You're 0-2.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I get ready when I'm ready to get ready because I'm on vacation, bro.
That's what I said. He likes to travel, but he's not a real traveler. Because I'm like, bro, 6 in the morning, get your ass up, brush your teeth, let's go get some food in us. And we out the door by like no later than 8. No later than 8. We somewhere on somebody's street.
No, see, I'm just rolling out of bed at like 11.
No.
It's like, why go? It's like, I don't know. That's, like I said, that's where, like I said, Ryan and I never really done an official travel anything together. And I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to put like hands on them. I'm gonna be like,
Ryan, you just plan it accordingly. Like, like that's why group trips sometimes not the best. Like I like traveling with like 3, not more than 4 people. Like I'll do like 10 people trips, but those are the types of trips that you just cannot really plan stuff because you're not on your own time. You're like with, a bunch of other people. So it's either everybody kind of plans to do their own thing or you just kind of take it easy, and relax and just wait. I think eventually, and Ryan, you're probably like, once you start traveling a little bit more, you think you're going to wake up at 11, but you're going to be like, no, let's get up at 8. Let's do this. Let's go. Because my friends now, They used to be like, Ryan, they would be like, bro, like, come on. Or like, I'm not even going to go because, you know, I know that we're going to be up mad early. But now, like, so now I've gotten used to kind of like how they travel, you know. So in the morning, I'm like, they're like, Kevin, you ready? I'm like, I've been ready. I just been waiting for you guys. You know what I mean? But you know, so I'm like, just no pressure. You know what I mean? Because that can kind of give off a bad vibe too. You know what I mean? Like it could kind of, you don't want to start your day off like that, you know? So I'm just like, hey, if you guys want to sleep in, whatever. But if it's like past 9:30, just hit me up when you wake up and we'll catch up somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Ryan's type of travel is very important as well. I just think it's a time and place for those type of sleeping in. And like I was explaining to him, where was like, if I was going to sleep into 10 o'clock, it's going to be literally a Maldives, a Bora Bora. It's going to be something where I'm like, okay, there's nothing really to see besides the ocean, you know, the beach, whatever. And I'm totally fine with, hey, when I wake up, I'm waking up to a Mai Tai, a sex on the beach. And I'm just sitting there, all right, babe, what time the massage there? Okay, what time that spa? Okay, yeah, we're good. But if I'm like, oh man, we want to go to Costa Rica. Why the hell would I sleep till 1 o'clock? And I have stuff to see. So I think, like I said, it's a fine balance, but you have to know two things, in my opinion. One, the location. The location is going to dictate what the hell we're going to do. So if there's a bunch of stuff that I can see and look at, like museums and parks and, you know, or the beach or, you know, whatever it's, I want to see it because, like you said, if nothing else, this past year has taught us nothing is promised. How stuff can just shut down. All of a sudden, they be like, you know, when I remember last year, they was like, all right, you Americans, you got American passport, you can't even come to my country. You're like, damn. So you don't know when you're gonna get to go back. Like Brazil.
Exactly.
I got an American passport. Brazil ain't looking too promising as far as, you know, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the, you know, the levels of what's going on. Or like how the EU is still blocked, you know, they're still blocking, you know, American travelers or Canada. I want to go to Canada. They like, nope, can't come in here. I'm like, hey. So, you know, it's things like that. So now I'm like, okay, it makes you want to say, all right, when I get to go somewhere, I want to take full advantage because you just never know if you ever come back. But I do want to mention, I will be going to Chicago. I already booked my Chicago trip. I'll be going to Chicago in 2 weeks. So I'm real excited because I've never been to Chicago as an adult. Like I went, it was like when I was a teenager. So
check out that architectural boat tour on Groupon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. They take you down the river, and definitely check it out for sure.
Okay, I definitely will. Yeah, like I said, I definitely got to do that. But like as far as like my favorite country is definitely Egypt. That's bar none. I mean, it ain't
wait to get there.
Egypt is. I'm telling you, man, like that blew me away. That was something I've been wanting to go since I was a little kid. Like I always been fascinated with Egyptian mythology. And I was a history major originally when I first went to college. And Egypt just blew me away.
I mean, I can't
wait.
Like
I said, spending 2 weeks there, it's not a place that I would probably want to live, but it's definitely number one as far as like, I went to like 7 different cities in 2 weeks. You know, I went to like Cairo, Giza, Saqqara, I went to Memphis, I went to Alexandria, I went to Luxor, and it was just like, damn. And especially, you know, when you get to like, I think one of the first things that we did was the pyramids of Giza. And it was just like, you know, like you see pictures of it and it's like, when you actually see it in person, you like, this is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, just based upon, I didn't know the stones was going to be that large. Like I'm 6'2", and them damn stones had to be about 6 feet. And I was just like,
crazy.
I was just blown away. Like, damn, I thought they was like bricks. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was like, man, who out here moving these? But
that's funny.
Yeah, like I said, it was like dope. And as far as the state go, I don't know. I just started doing domestic travel literally in the last 45 days. Like, and the other travel I was doing because, you know, I was in the military, so I was stationed. Like I said, I lived in Oklahoma for a couple of years. I lived in North Carolina. I'm from Missouri, so I was born and raised in Missouri. I lived in Jersey for a little bit. So I mean, I bounced around through, you know, certain states. I lived in Maryland, lived in DC, now I live in Virginia. But in the last 45 days, like, you know, I went to Boston, I went back to St. Louis, I went to LA, I went to New York the other day. So like I'm just really starting to hit my stride and get out there, and especially because the type of job that I have, they place a lot of restrictions, and that's why I was like, kind of need to let you guys go because I'm not really a big fan of restriction at this point. So I definitely even you going to Africa, like I want to go to Africa for my birthday and this fall. Like I'm thinking about going to either Ghana or Morocco. Like I definitely want to do, and if I can, I'll try to do both at the same time. But it just all depends or whatever. But what's open or what the climate is, during the fall or whatever. Because like I said, I've been fully vaccinated since January because I'm one of the mission essential personnel.
Oh, nice.
So I'm ready. Like I'm wide open. I'm looking at my passport. My passport like, what we doing, player? I'll be like, I don't know. You tell me.
What we doing?
My second one yesterday. So.
Mm.
Ryan, what about you, Ryan? Where's your favorite country?
Well, see, I'm kind of
anytime somebody start off with see.
I'm kind of the opposite of Preston. Like Preston said, he's just now getting into domestic travel. My passport is still a little dry. You know what I'm saying? I've only been to Cozumel, Mexico. So
okay, cool.
By default, I'll say Cozumel, Mexico, was my favorite destination. But as far as domestically, I will up and down say San Antonio, hands down, is my favorite destination.
Texas, San Antonio, Texas.
Oh yes, have you been?
I have never been, but I've had mad people. I have a lot of friends that live in Texas, and they're from like Austin or Dallas, and they're like, bro, you have to go to San Antonio. Have to go to San Antonio. I heard that river, like the river walk and all that is really nice, like the restaurants.
Yeah. You got the river walk, so you can see all the restaurants. It's very romantic. Or even if you don't have a date, it's just a nice, dope vibe with the river walk there. If you're into history, they got the Alamo where they're doing tours all the time. It's free. You just go in there and just. So and what I like about it is it's a big city, but it really has like this nice rural country vibe to it. But
it's on the bucket list. Like, I have a bucket list, so I added that to that for sure.
Yeah, do that for sure.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I got so many things. Like I literally have a Word document on my computer with every single country, every single city, every single state that I want to go. Like off the rip, I want to go to all 50 states. See? Bro,
the bucket list.
Bro, see? Like-minded individuals. This is why you might hear all heroes don't wear capes. People need to understand.
Look at San Antonio right there.
There you go. My man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what
and that's what I'm saying. And that's when you really do have a passion. Like I literally, like you said, like I have the same thing on my phone and my computer. And every time I go somewhere, I check mark, hey, this is where I've been.
Yep.
And if I find something new, like if I hear about something new, oh sure, I gotta go. Like for Morocco, I was just thinking about Fez or like Marrakesh, stuff like that. And then I met random at I was on my way from Cairo to Alexandria.
Okay.
We stopped at a rest stop. I got the whole, I don't know the traditional name, but pretty much like the man dress. So I got the beard. Like my beard was like super long, and I'm looking like Egyptian out there. So I'm just chilling, drinking some water, and I see this other black guy, and I don't know if he's whatever Egyptian or whatever. And then like I think I went to go. I started talking. He said, "Hey man, where you from?" I was like, "Man, where you from?" Like, "Man, I'm from Jersey." Oh shit, American. So we got, and this is a regular 20-minute truck stop type vibe. And we got to talking, and he was just like, "Oh, man, I just came from Morocco, and I went to the Blue City."
Yes, the Blue City.
Like, Blue City. What the hell are you talking about? Man, we started talking, and then he started showing me pictures. I was like, "I'm going." And
I was right there.
Bro. And that's what I'm saying. So, dude, and it was this. Now, this is the crazy part. So we chopped it up there. I got back in the vehicle. We drive like another hour to get to Alexandria. We get off. My wife and I, and like I said, my best friend Earl and his wife, we touring this Alexandria. We get to this one location. Guess what we run into? Him again. Now we taking pictures. That's dope. Because he had his man dress on, and we sitting there like whatever. And then next thing you know, we exchanged Instagrams, and that was 2018, I believe. Man, we didn't kept in touch this whole time.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen him since then, but like you said, like if I ever, whatever, like, hey man, like I know somebody else in the world. So I say that just like I said, man, you just never know who you're going to connect with, vibe with. And he's a huge traveler as well. So it's just dope, you know what I'm saying? So
it's like colleagues, you know what I mean? Like I feel like people you meet, like those are your colleagues, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a matter of fact, that's another I guess objective, if you will, for the reason for the podcast. We wanted to try to make the world like a smaller place in terms of just meeting like-minded folks, just people who are just laid back, willing to, share, travel stories, travel secrets, all that type of stuff. So, you've been the perfect candidate so far. So thank you for that.
Man, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity too, man. It's been really cool chatting it up with you guys too. Like, obviously it's good to like put like the face to the voice and everything, and because you can only kind of get so much from people's pictures and from their words that they think, you know what I mean? So like I would love to catch up with you guys again in like a couple of months down the road to see like what has changed. Obviously we're in like a different, again, we're in a different like time of our lives, you know what I mean? So things are kind of getting back to normal, and I think that as things start to open up, we'll have new experiences, whether it's like the way that we get into places or getting back into the States or whatever. But it would be dope to like just see where you guys are at collectively towards the end of the year. And like I said, I'm gonna like start like just introducing you guys to like my colleagues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Like anybody you think might want to be on our podcast, and man, just I said, like, we welcome, all travelers, white, black, old, young, whatever, as long as they, like I said, travelers or photographers, whatever the case may be, like just like-minded individuals, we welcome it, them all.
And before I forget, man, like, because you've definitely been such a dope, guest, like, where can people just give them like your Instagram, where they can follow you at, to admire your pictures, your travel tips, all that.
Absolutely. So, like I told you guys, this is still a little bit new. So I'm like, I just opened up like a YouTube page. I just opened up TikTok, but I still don't really know how to use it. Snapchat, I'm gonna look into that.
TikTok, I don't ever use it either.
Instagram is like my core. That's kind of like where I'm starting to build everything from. So you guys could follow me at Kevy Kev. That's Kevy Kev with 2 V's worldwide. Kevy Kev worldwide. That's my kind of travels page, and then there's Kevy Kev with 2 V's, Kevy Kev Eats, and that's all of my food experiences throughout the travels. Because I just I found that there's 2 different kind of people that want to see food, people that want to see the travel. So for now, I'm kind of keeping them separate, and so yeah, you guys can look me up there, and like you guys, Ryan and Preston, like if you guys ever have any questions for like whatever it is, bro. Like I'm really good. Like whenever I'm traveling, like I get as much information about like their process about getting in because of the time we're in. So like if you need to figure out like where I can get a test done to come back in the States or whatever it is, like, or if you guys know people, like send them my way, because like I said, together we're gonna grow.
Oh yeah. I got one person in mind. I'm gonna definitely send your way. I'm gonna reach out to her and and I'll give you her information. Well, I think y'all should really link up if you were dope.
Absolutely. And shout out to, was it Michelle that gave you my name?
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, she's super dope.
Yeah, shout out to Michelle,
Yeah, because she put us on. She put me on to you and Let's Get Stamps, Brittany.
Oh, word, yeah.
So we just did a podcast with her the other day, a couple of days ago.
I actually met her 2 weeks ago. We had we got invited to the Travel Lounge brunch. So there was like 30 of us that we had been talking for like the past 6 or 7 months. Just kind of like, we kind of built our own little community where like we, good morning every morning, grand risings. What are you guys doing this weekend? Where are you guys at this weekend? And we're all equally traveling as much. So it's like, if you were to look at it from the outside, you're like, are these people like, because somebody's in Puerto Vallarta, like I think Brittany was in Puerto Vallarta or something like that recently.
Yeah, she was
in Puerto Vallarta. I was in Brazil. Somebody else was in Europe, but I think that they live up there, but they were like visiting a different country. There was somebody in Jamaica, and this is everybody sending their pictures of where they're at. And we're basically like, yo, we can't wait to see the content, this and that. And so they put the brunch together, and everybody was all color coordinated, and it was so dope. I'll actually tag you guys on that. It was in Brooklyn. And that's where I got to meet Brittany. So we got a chance to like, they had like this big like Jamaican feast, and we danced, and they did like break the ice event.
Oh, that's so dope, bro.
Yeah. And it had been people that we've been talking in this room for like, 6 or 7 months. So we kind of coordinated a day that worked for everybody. And that was 2 weeks ago. So I'll tag you guys on their page so you guys can check out the pictures. And that's a really great place to find inspiration too. You know what I mean? Other people that travel, because there's no one traveler like you. Like there's everybody's like their unique traveler. You know what I mean? You guys can both go to the Statue of Liberty, but you guys are gonna have two perspectives. You're gonna have two different experiences. And that's why I'm like, even if I went there, like you should go too, because you might like it, you might not like it. But meeting that group of people was like, again, super inspiring, because I'm like, okay, so these people are freaking real. You know what I mean? So they're real, actually traveling like every weekend, just like me. And they have their regular 9-to-5 jobs, like their regular life. So I feel like this is kind of like an outlet for us to all like be like who we really want to be, but we can't because of work. You know what I mean? So it's really, really dope. And yeah, so that's why I met Brittany and stuff. So that was pretty dope.
That's dope, man. Like I said, like, and that's one of the things, like when I met Michelle, Monila's mom, whatever, and I was telling her we vibe so well. I was just like, yo, we got to collab. And, so we've been talking offline and things of that nature. And I just like I said, man, like I said, another person of color. So I just get excited. And I'm like, man. And I just think that's so dope how you guys created that little community, and that you guys actually met up and, things of that nature. I'm like, yes. And that's why I'm like, yo, when I come back to Boston, I'm definitely hitting you up. I'm be like, if you're there, or whatever the case, I might see your schedule later on down. Hey, man, you gonna be available in November or December or this? And if you are, I definitely want to link up. Or
bro, and even when I'm down in you guys' areas, I'm gonna hit you guys up as well. You guys said Maryland, Virginia, right?
Yeah, if you come to DC or whatever, hey, I'm only 25 minutes from DC.
Likewise.
So, I'm down.
Yeah.
So when you meet people face to face, man. Sorry, my dog's going crazy.
It's so cool.
But I know, like I said, we've been here for about an hour and a half. Is one last thing that we definitely want to do. We always do the rapid fire questions at the end.
Yes.
So so it's 10 questions, all right? So you got to choose A or B or whatever. All right. So the first question is luxury or budget?
Budget.
Train or plane?
Plane.
Hostel or hotel?
Hostel. No, hotel.
Okay.
Because it depends, hostel. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of hostels, but I'd rather just do a hotel.
Okay. All right. City or beach?
City.
Okay. Desert or tropical?
Tropical.
Cold or hot destination?
Hot right now, cold in a couple of months.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay. Off the beaten path or organized excursion?
100% off the beaten path.
Okay. Photo or video?
Got him.
We're kind of in a world right now where we kind of have to start. Like, I'm like, damn, like, why didn't I take videos of these places? You know what I mean? Like, I have so many pictures, but why didn't I take videos? So I want to say pictures because that's kind of like where it started, but it's like I think we're all going more towards video. I think video is going to be, video, yeah.
Yeah, like it's Instagram really pushing those reels and
they are
and all that type of stuff. So you definitely, like you said, like to your point, I'd be like, damn, why I didn't do a video of this or do some real dope shot of this or the angles or so I'm like, damn.
Crazy.
So like I said, it just makes me have to go travel harder because I gotta go back to it.
I'll go back to the places.
Yeah, I go back to it just to do that. Solo or group?
Group.
And the last one is fast food or dining in?
Dining in.
Oh, you're dining in. Okay, that's good.
Dining in. I mean, I'll do like fast food. I'll do the dining in more now because people really like the food. Like people really, like I'll have people that live in my area that they'll be like, hey, Kev, I saw that you went to this restaurant. How long was the wait? And then the next night they posted a picture of the food. So now I'm like, shit, I want to like show people like the experience of like you know, at the dining place. What it doesn't have to be like a fancy diner, but I'd rather eat like I'd rather dine in to like I'd rather record the person making the food too, like you know, like that kind of experience. But like fast food, like McDonald's and stuff like that, unless it's an emergency.
So
like,
what if I reword it and say street food or dining in?
Street food, because you kind of get more of the culture. Sometimes, like when I was in Brazil, like the dining was like steak and potatoes.
Yeah, that's
here.
exactly what you're eating down there.
You know what I mean? But there's street food. You can't get that street food here, and I think that's what people want to see. So definitely street food.
Yeah, like whenever I go pretty much to any country, I'm eating street food. Like I just think that's like the. I mean, even when I go to like Philly or something, like
where's the food trucks, right?
For real. Or DC.
I don't really need a restaurant.
Definitely DC.
Yeah, you know, DC street food, like that's just what we like known for. Like New York, like, you know, you do got your famous little spots or whatever, but I'm like, I can go get a slice of pizza, I get this hot dog, I can get, and you really feel like, damn, this is New York. You know, this is a Brooklyn pizza, you know, this is whatever. So
for real.
definitely, I pretty much agree with everything you just said as far as like, you know, how the questions, whatever. And stuff, I'm more of a solo because Ryan won't get his life together. So, thanks, Ryan.
Nah, I'm sure he'll be traveling soon. Watch.
Oh, I'm gonna drag his ass one of these days. I'm gonna be like, thank you.
That's dope. That's
dope. Skills that I've acquired, and then he gonna wait in the damn another country, be like, hi, get here.
Hey, I'm saying, the photo gigs is calling me, Preston. I can't.
So he's a like damn near full-time photographer. So he's actually teaching me how to take pictures. So
that's dope. That's gonna be a big part too. So it'll all improve, and you know, at the end of the day, is you make it what you want it to be. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I got to be authentic, you know, to myself. I can't be Kevy K. Like I can't, like, you know, so I can't replicate what you have or do. So I just have to be, you know, Preston, whatever. So, and then hopefully people like what Preston, you know, puts out or whatever. So, like I said, I'm in the process of revamping everything, and it's just like my second or third time revamping, and it's just like now I really starting to feel like, especially looking at your page or Brittany's page or Michelle's page, I'm like, okay, now I know the mindset that I need to be going.
Yeah, they doing it
more popular or more presentable to the world and things of that nature. And I just want to say, shout out to all three of you guys, especially all you guys came on the podcast. All you guys been showing us love. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to all you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me, man. That's dope.
So like I said, this is. Oh yeah, Brian, you got anything to say before we close out?
Oh no, I'll just like agreeing with y'all, man. This was a dope episode. I appreciate you coming on, Kev, and showing us love because, as Preston said offline on the example earlier, you know, you could look at our Adventure with Pictures page and you could have, you know, looked the other way and said, I'm not interested. So just for that, I thank you very much.
No, thank you guys, man. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, I'm excited for your audience to hear this. Hopefully, they're inspired to go and travel too. You know what I mean? And I'm just amped to see you guys traveling too. You know, I think that's gonna be dope.
Oh man, I got so many trips. Like I said, I'll be in Chicago in 2 weeks. Next week, I'm going to Great Wolf Lodge in Williamsburg, Virginia.
That's a dope place. Yep.
A couple of weeks after that, I'll be in Mexico for a week. I'm going to Tulum, and then like a couple of weeks after that, I don't know where I'm gonna be at. I'm thinking about New Orleans. I'll be in New Orleans for a couple of days, and a couple of weeks after that, I'm going to
let's go.
Massanutten, which is like a rural area, like it's pretty much like the Shenandoah Valley, pretty much exploring Virginia. And then a couple weeks after that, I'll be in Vegas, and so I'm booked up until the end of July. Yeah, so I haven't done the second half of the year yet because I'm really waiting to see how things open up because I really want to go to Thailand and Cambodia, Vietnam, and you know all those type of countries. So I'm really like, all right, let me just, you know, ease into as stuff start lifting a little bit for us. So,
man, like I said, you guys will find out where I went. Actually, I'll text you. I'll send you guys a message and I'll let you guys know where I went. But
okay, I got some fire for y'all.
Hey,
you know what this reminds me of? And I don't want to take too much fun, but it just reminds me of like, you know, them old school like. Hey man, I dropped my CD next week, dog. Like, y'all just wait on that new mixtape. I'm going to fire. Like, you know, we got the travel.
That's funny. That's what's up.
All right. So, like I said, this is Preston, I got my man Ryan. I got Kevin Kev on here. We signing out. And I want to say thank you to all our listeners and keep supporting. All right. So until next time.
Peace.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Right now.
Later.